have been well trained.
No. You don't have to carry a sword to be powerful.
I won't fail you.
Or do not.
I'm not afraid.
There is no try.
Alright, welcome back to Star Wars Destiny on Friday night, because why play Magic when you can play Star Wars Destiny? That's right, it's all the droids you could possibly handle, plus more. My name is Suki from the Knights of Ren, with Minion, the Millman Master, who tells jokes about sticks. How you doing, man?
Pretty good.
So tell your stick joke.
We told it last time.
Yeah, but we might have new listeners, watchers, viewers, players. Obviously, there's more
They'll
droids.
just have to check the
watch the VOD. Yeah, go back to Game 3. That's pretty fun. Alright, so we're looking at Satine. No, there's no Satine. I'm a liar. We're looking at Chopper Droids, Gasp, and this giant picture of Thrawn, which I love because it's beautiful. But no, we have Palpatine, Sheev Palpatine, the man himself. He is the Senate. And
he has unlimited power as well.
He likes to
according to the
eat
card.
Ewoks. Yep, we've experienced some terrible things on Endor, and some other yellow character, which would probably be Watto.
That is Watto.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he is what I believe we call a Toydarian, not a droid.
I'll believe you.
So it's droids versus fleshies. No, what are they called in Star Wars?
Meat bags?
Meat. No, that's what. that's a Futurama thing, my friend. That's what Bender would call
I think
them.
it fits.
That's fair. So meat bags versus droids. Let's talk a little bit about Palpatine, since we've seen droids the entirety of this tournament. What is Palpatine's ability, and what is he trying to do here?
So Palpatine's ability is that he can have his abilities on Palpatine, as in ability upgrades, do not count towards his upgrade limit. So he can have an unlimited number of ability upgrades on him. Each one also gives him an additional health. And his power action is that he can roll one of those abilities into his pool. So he gets to use one of his abilities twice per round.
And what does Watto do, other than make a lot of money and kind of flop his wings around? Tell you that Republic credits are no good here.
So you nailed it. That is what Watto does. He has 50% damage sides, or 50% resource sides on his dice. And he is been errated to be immune to blue mitigation, so blue events can't remove Watto's dice, and
as a power action,
also has a power action where he can reroll a dice, and if he calls the symbol, he can get $2 back, and that costs him 1 to do so.
Yeah. So Watto's going to be making the money, and Palpatine is going to be becoming the Senate, as we say.
Right. So essentially, what happens here is that Palpatine wants to stack a bunch of upgrades. Hopefully 7 or more for Palpatine's side, and eventually just start killing people. And the trick is to survive that long through the disrupts and the damage that the Chopper Droids is going to be putting into it.
Yeah, good thing there's no Ewoks here, because you'd have to cover your eyes and send your children to bed, because it is a disaster when that man gets his electrical powers shocking through those little guys. But these droids are pretty immune to electricity, so...
Well, the droids are basically 2 Ewoks stacked on each other.
So are they is it 2 Ewoks with a coat? They're like, we are Chopper Droids, beep boop.
Warhammer Underworld! We are going down to the basement to the Age of Sigmar Hall!
So for those of you who play the game that they're yelling about, that's an important thing. If you play Star Wars Destiny, nobody cares. So moving along, we're going to see Palpatine play a card. Now, is that an ability?
That is an ability. I believe that is Sith Teachings. If he had been patient, he could have potentially removed a blank with it, but he would probably want to just get the card out there before his money went
Why would he be able to remove a blank by playing an upgrade?
That's the ability of Sith Teachings.
Well, that's a pretty good ability. Look, there's a blank. Now, I'm assuming we just saw droid stay out again.
Right.
So,
and he draws a card because he rolled 3 droids in.
Okay. And then we're going to... Now, we don't have the plot that allows him Faithful Companions to do after activation a second time.
Right. But he does focus once with R2, and then he resolves it with C-3PO and the salvaged arm to do 4 damage with that chopper die.
So the way that works is R2 says after you activate, if you spot C-3PO, you can flip a die to any side. And then C-3PO says after you activate, you can resolve a die, increasing its value by 1. And then Salvaged Arm says after you tap this card, you can increase the value by another 1, which, as you saw, turned Chopper's die from 2 into 4 damage, leaving Palpatine a really bad headache.
And it looks like Chopper is just going straight damage. So Palpatine only has 4 health remaining. He got greedy. He wanted to focus R2 to the 2, I think. And so he left it out there, but that left an opening for Palpatine to forsaken the R2 die and save some damage.
So Palpatine, even though he has a printed value of 10 health, his overall health can grow exponentially based on the abilities that are attached to him.
And it grows linearly, not exponentially.
No, that's right.
Sorry.
Well, when you're Ewoks, it feels exponentially because you deal 1 damage and then he puts an upgrade on, and then you cry because you didn't really do anything. But I'm not bitter or anything.
Right.
But in all reality, we see 7 damage on Palpatine, but in the top right corner of the screen it says he has 4 health. That's because he has that upgrade. We're in a weird place because the next turn, if Lake gets another droid stay out, he could just blow out all of Palpatine's money. And what do you do when you have no capacity to play the things you need to keep yourself alive?
You die.
Well, that's pretty straightforward, so thank you for watching, and we're going to get on out of here.
One thing that the Palpatine does have going for him is that the droids are basically done at this point. They've just got a focus sitting in the pool. And he's not even activated both of his characters yet. He just brought Watto in. Watto is showing some money. And we got to reroll into a resource for the droids player. He'll probably take that resource.
Yeah.
Because why not?
So this is a really telling situation where, do you think Lake has removal in his hand? Because he had the opportunity to do pretty much whatever he wanted. He has money in his pocket. He's got cards in his hand. There's dice out there not really doing much, and he didn't strip any of them off the table. Or do you think he's waiting for Palpatine to trigger?
It's hard to say. He might just be trying to eke out... there's the flee the scene. So that's what he was looking for.
Very sneaky, Lake. You so sneaky. Aha.
So we get a Neiman training.
What does that do?
So it's a 1-cost blue ability.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
The special is to turn an upgrade die to the side of your choice, and then you can replace it with a Neiman Mastery for free.
So what is Palpatine going to try and push for here? You got 2 focus on the table, you got a special, and some dice that aren't really showing anything you really need at the moment.
So the resource is interesting because that will depend on whether or not he has more abilities to come down. Mm-hmm. The double focus is a little bit unfortunate because you don't want to use it to focus a single die.
And it would appear that Palpatine has used his power action, so he's not going to be able to get any of the abilities back into the table. But he did shield up. He's got 12 health total. He's got 7 damage on him. He's got 2 shields, 4 resources, which means at maximum, could Chopper take 4 resources? Does he have a disrupt?
He has a single disrupt, which it would be for 3.
So yeah.
Well, but he doesn't have the salvaged arm yet. He might play it from the discard pile on Chopper with his power action. But the most he could disrupt is 3.
Yeah.
But it would take him 2 actions to do it, so the Palpatine player will probably get to play some more abilities prior to being disrupted.
Now, this is one of those weird situations where every game we've seen, the longer the Chopper... Okay, so we did see the power action from Chopper. The longer the game goes, the more advantageous it is for the droids to kind of crush you. But the problem with that is Palpatine keeps getting bigger, and you don't really want that to happen.
Yeah, I think that Chopper is probably just going to try and push damage here.
Oh, okay. So let's talk about this card and why it's relevant for Chopper, the mod he just played.
So the rocket booster, it's got shields and indirect, mostly. So that's not actually super relevant in the sides, but it does have an ability to let you kind of action cheat a Chopper rollout, but he did not use that ability.
Now, we also saw Palpatine play an upgrade, that one that I'm pointing at, that you can't see. Oh, and a lightsaber. This is going to be interesting.
So that looks like a Ceresu. That looks like a Ceresu training that Palpatine just played.
So is he the Senate
he played
yet? With 4 upgrades?
Not quite.
How many upgrades does he need to become the Senate?
Like 6.
How dare you?
At least 6.
At least 6.
Yeah.
66.
So the Palp Saber that came down does not count towards his health because that's not an ability. And Chopper just played an Instigate, so he's getting an ambush activation after the R2 rollout, which he blanked on, so that's giving him some difficulties.
So I have a question. Is it worth your time to try and blow out Watto right now so that Palpatine can't keep just building his economy? Or do you keep pushing into Palpatine and try and stall him out? Because right now, Palp's got $3, he's got 6 dice, he's got a power action. Like, Palpatine is not unkillable, but he's getting to a critical mass of, he's going to start throwing the Senate at you.
Yeah, I think you can't. I think you never kill Watto unless it's round 1. After round 1, you have to kill Palpatine as quickly as possible, because killing Watto basically just gives the Palpatine player another round.
What about
of
round
the game.
3? Is that acceptable?
No.
Okay.
No. So
right.
he's got to still go after Palpatine, but his rolls did not help him, and he's sitting. Palpatine is scaling right now, and Palpatine's going to try and kill a droid this round.
Are you sure? All right, so what's he doing here?
That's the second Sith Teachings, which this time did remove a blank when he played it.
So is Chase taking Lake to school here?
It's hard to say. I think I think there is no damage effectively on the droid side.
Right.
So he's sitting there healthy, but again, his turn is almost over, and he hasn't really made any headway into Palpatine, and Palpatine is just getting stronger.
So if you're Lake and you're in the situation, what do? Your dice are on the table. You don't have 50 bajillion damage showing. You're not going to be able to just blow out Palpatine. You might be able to get those 2 shields off and stick some damage, but he's going to roll 7 dice in. He has a power action. We've got now. He's recommitting his damage to Watto.
Well, that was the salvaged arm 4 indirect from the rocket boosters.
Yeah.
So the Palpatine player is just using Watto as a bubble shield.
It's fair.
A triple bubble shield.
That seems pretty good. So Watto has a disrupt and a discard. 2 of my favorite sides as a resident mill player. I'm sure you feel the same way.
Those are the bread and butter of mill.
I mean, that's just what you want to see. So Lake is out of cards.
He does roll into 2 more damage, and it looks like we have a Watto power action.
I'm assuming he's going to say money. Oh, he's re-rolling. Oh. Okay,
so he paid 1 to blank the die. I think he's actually going to be happy with that because it saved him 2 damage.
Right, and Watto's power action just says pay $1 to reroll a target die. It's not yours, it's just a target. So now we're going to see Palpatine roll the Senate into the chamber, and
that's only 5 upgrades?
Don't worry about it. It's a lot of upgrades. That's more dice than some people have in a given game. Mr. I kill Ewoks for fun. So what are we looking at? Now, when we played earlier today, even though you have a lot of upgrades, that doesn't necessarily translate into a lot of damage. So where are we going here with all of these options available to the Palpatine player?
So that looks like the Suresu training for 2 shields. He did remove a dice, so the special on the Sith Teachings is representing 2 damage. And that is a Neiman training, which turns an upgrade dice, which it looks like he's chaining specials into 8 damage to kill R2.
And the power action on Palpatine
for another Sith Teachings.
Is going to take... Now, he has the capacity to make money, or do you think he's going to pitch to reroll to 6 more damage into the table?
So if he has another upgrade or a back to therapy in hand, I think he takes the money. But it looks like he's pitching some events to go for more damage.
So he takes the money.
He got the money back, and then he got
damage.
another 2 damage to do towards Chopper.
Okay, so a rare situation where we see droids on the back foot. What does Lake need to do to come out of this? It's not over. He's still got lots of options. He can reanimate the salvage arm from the graveyard using Chopper's power action, which would increase, the damage or whatever he decides to resolve. But what is his out? Where is he playing to here?
So I haven't done the math, but I'm not sure that Chopper can mathematically kill Palpatine this round with Max right now. So his first priority should be to get another damage dice into the field.
How do you do that? What's he searching for here?
Well, he can always just pull a salvaged arm, but that's not a dice. I don't know if he runs it, but a Chewbacca's blaster would be real good right now, as we saw earlier.
Oh, there it is. So
that is another damage dice, Mr. Bones.
How do you feel, Mr. Bones? Rattling? Oh, the jokes are terrible. I'm not sorry, but they're terrible. So tell us what Mr. Bones does.
So Mr. Bones is almost all damage sides. He tops out at a 3-for-1 resource damage side, and his ability is that if his dice kills a character, you get to ready Mr. Bones. But
so let's talk about the worst card I hate in a Palpatine deck.
Palpatine just drew into a back to therapy to heal 5, so that feels terrible, I understand.
Really?
For your opponents.
Does it really? Can you express how much pain and suffering when you heal 5 damage for 2 resources?
I think you're doing a good job of expressing it
I'm
first hand.
I'm expressing frustration and anger when I dealt 20 damage to Palpatine. You're like, back to 7 shields. I'm like, oh, well, I guess I just lose this game. So I know how Lake feels.
So we have another Droid's Day out. He should get to draw a card because he does have the 3rd droid in Mr. Bones. And he did draw the card.
Now, does a card like, when we played earlier today, does a card like back to swing the game pretty heavily in your favor? Does it just give you a sense of establishment, or is it really going to throw your opponent off? Because there's a psychological aspect too. We've been playing this for 5-6 rounds. I've sunk a lot of damage into Palpatine, and one card just says, don't worry about it.
Well, each back to therapy right now is probably representing another round of the game. And there's another one in the deck. So Palpatine will not be dying anytime soon. Definitely not this round anymore.
Yeah.
And he's loaded up with enough dice that he's going to be threatening to kill a droid every round.
So what does Lake need to do? Because it just keeps, like we said, it just keeps getting worse and worse. Oh, there's a Palp Saber.
So Palpatine's Saber, while it is unique, it's not unique if it's on Palpatine. So he can run 2 of them, and they come out for free essentially free once there's 2 abilities on Palpatine.
Now that is not an ability though, right?
It is not an ability, so it does not increase his health, but it does have 2 damage sides on it and a 1 damage side, so that's more droid killing power.
So I'm pretty sure at 6 upgrades, he is now the Senate.
He has reached Senate power.
Senate level proportion.
And it looks like the back to therapy and the reset on Mr. Bones convinced Lake to target Watto just to get him off the table, because a kill on Palpatine was not going to happen anytime soon.
So what is this card we're seeing played?
That looks like a Neiman Mastery. Yeah, that's a Neiman Mastery.
It's very convenient you know that.
It is.
I know, because we can tell people who are watching and listening what he just played. All right, but in all seriousness, we're about to see a literal buttload.
When you play Neiman Mastery, you can turn an upgrade or character dice to any side. It looks like he did not do so unless he turned something that I didn't see.
He might be contemplating what he
may have turned. He may have turned the rocket boosters to blank. I don't remember what that was actually showing.
All right, Mr. Bones just slipped into, what is that?
Looks like a 2 melee for free.
All right, so the Senate has been thrown at the droids. Let's take a look.
A lot of 2s and specials, which is exactly what Palpatine was looking for.
So if you could, you would totally play something like Easy Pickings, right?
Or in the crosshairs.
Yeah.
But...
Or Hyperspace Jump.
Lake is on 0 money, it looks like, so...
And it's trilogies.
So the 0 cost removal doesn't exist there, so...
So, I mean, we're trying to have fun and watch a beating have it happening, but where do you go from here? Like, there's 2 damage sticking on Palpatine. He's got a lot of dice. You don't have many options for removal. All of those aren't damage.
Well, they are after the Neiman Mastery.
Okay. But there's still a lot of options that Palpatine has, and he hasn't used his power action yet.
So the magic number for Palpatine right now is 9 in order to kill Chopper through the Riot Shield, and I think he has it.
All right, let's do some math. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Okay. Oh, and
it looks like Lake is going to call it because C-3PO would not take that game home.
Yeah, I respect that call. So we're going to see a Palpatine in the finals, which is interesting. What can a droid player do other than obviously burst Palpatine down quickly to kind of circumnavigate that? Because your deck, when we played, was pretty much upgrades, which essentially is a form of mitigation, because even though you're not mitigating damage, you're just becoming so much bigger past the damage being dealt that you just don't care.
Well, I think if you miss the early kill, which I can guarantee you the Palpatine player was sweating taking 7 damage round 1 and going into round 2 with 5 damage to kill him. But once the damage was missed in round 2, you don't get that chance back, and then Palpatine just grew unsustainably.
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting because from what we're hearing, we have Palpatine in the finals, and I believe Jango Dengar?
I think
yes, we have head shaking, thumbs up, chickens flying, droids happening, but not Grievous because he's not a droid, as we have learned previously. So we're going to have a really interesting finals, no droids.
Droid-free final. I would not have called that at the beginning of the tournament.
I definitely want to give a huge shout out to all the players who came out here today at Nova. It's been a lot of fun, mad respect, because they're doing something I'm not doing, and it's a lot of fun to watch. It's a lot of fun to see all these lines of play and interactions that are very interesting. It's so unique to watch this game because the decision trees are immense, and watching players make those decision trees and the outcome of that is so exciting. But that is the end of this round. So the next round will be the finals here at the Nova Open. So thank you for hanging out. This is the Chance Cube. As you see on the left, the middle, and Thrawn. He's not the Chance Cube, but don't worry about it. Anyways, we're going to take a quick break because why not? And we'll return soon. So if you're enjoying the show, please definitely like and subscribe on either YouTube, Twitch.
And we might not be taking a break because it looks like they are sitting down and getting ready to play the finals right now.
I don't know if my heart can handle this. That clock is not going to be very favorable to a 16-minute match. I'm just saying. Of course, it could be over in 16 minutes. You never know.
So it's going to be Watto versus Jango Dengar after all the droid dies.
So we are going to take a. Are we taking a break?
This coverage of Star Wars Destiny is supported in part by our patrons. The Chance Cube wouldn't exist if it wasn't for the support of our patrons. We appreciate each and every one of you who generously support us in our mission to explore Star Wars Destiny and educate players along the way. We couldn't do it without you. If you would like to join our friends in high places, then head over to patreon.com/The Chance Cube. $1 a month goes a long way to maintaining and growing content like this and much more. And special thanks to Jim Goss, Derek Bertram, and Nathan Henderson for their generous support as top-tier patrons.